the first thing we should talk about is what's going on with gold right now. So it's back just at about 1900. It's back under 2000. And a lot of people are wondering, was that pop over 2000 just like a fake out? And are we headed back lower? What do you think?
That's a good question. So actually, on last Sunday, I did a market analysis, and obviously gold was in my market analysis. And it's just, honestly, bro, it's pure technicals at this point. So if you look at, I believe it's the weekly or even the daily, we had such a parabolic move on gold, it looks. And what I've realized from over the years of trading, when we have a parabolic move like that, so aggressively away from MAs, it's always going to pull back to the MAs. So I think this pullback in gold is actually completely normal. It needs to pull back to the 50 MA at minimum before it can continue trend riding up higher. So this is completely expected for me. I even said it in my breakdown analysis. I said, guys, we're completely overextended. What would be feasible and what means what's best for gold is a pullback to an average, which would be the 50 or the 100. And the 100 would make sense too, because we move so hard. But anything, once we start hitting the 200 MAs or even dipping below that, I would say the trend is completely on its way to,
Got it. I'm with you 100%. You know I'm a big technical analysis guy. Yeah. I actually closed a lot of my Bitcoin earlier this week. I'm all out of Bitcoin, not all out of crypto, but all out of Bitcoin because of what I saw on the daily chart. Same thing. I saw it not breaking back above the 21 moving average, and that's one that I value highly. So in that same sense with gold, a lot of people have been saying, even though it's broken those short-term moving averages, 2000 is such a solid support level. We could be bottoming out here at 2000, setting up a new level for a big move higher. You don't buy that, do you?
No, not at all. I think a pullback right now is completely necessary.
Does gold pull back and silver come up, or does silver go down too?
They both go down.
Yeah, silver's going to drop. You think silver right now is at almost 24 an ounce? You think it's got more room to the downside in the short term?
Well, I'd hate to speak out of nothing.
No, you're just, bro. We're on a podcast. We're just talking. It's all just talking.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see a chart, but if we're at least at the daily 50 MA, I would be a little bit more bullish. But I don't know where we're at right now.
I'll tell you in a second. Yeah, we're under the 50.
We're under the 50.
Under the 50, but not as low as we were. We were at 21.71. We're at 23.82 on silver. And on gold, we are under the 50, retesting it after it was broken on the 22nd of September, so about a week ago. So we're under the 50 on both.
Yeah, so when you're under the 50, it could get tricky because it wants to go – it could want to go higher, but then you have the resistance of that 50 because now we're below it. So 100%. I think – depending on candle formations and price action, when we're into that 50 MA area, that would allow me to address where we're going to be headed next. But if I had to just, throw freaking darts at a wall with no target, I would say that probably a pullback to the 50, to the 100 before trading higher.
You used the 100. I used the 200. So the 200 would be the next target for me. But either way, that's still a pretty serious downside
I use the
move.
200. I use the 200. Yeah. 200 to me is like my bread and butter. 200 is everything to me. But I just can't see us getting there without interacting with the 100 before.
Absolutely. Do you think that in what we're talking about here in the price of gold and silver, this is short term? What about 4 years from now when we're going through another presidential election?
Oh, forget it. I mean,
higher. It's got to be higher, right?
Yeah. I mean, just off the thesis of the inflation narrative of gold trading higher, I think that you'll be higher regardless in 4 years from now.
So what you're saying, take away fear in the market, take away coronavirus, take away everything else. Inflation alone will drive those higher. Time alone really brings those higher. You know what I'm saying?
Completely. Time. Yes, 100%. 100%.